So good morning my dear students, welcome back to my class. Okay. So let me discuss today the principle behind the determination of the transport number by the moving boundary method. Okay. So I'm going to discuss about the principle behind the moving boundary method for the determination of transport number. Okay, determination of transport number, that is the second method. Okay, first method that I already discussed in the last class, that is Ito's method, determination of transport number. So, the moving boundary method is the most direct method for the determination of the transport number of an ion by following the movement of a boundary between two electrolytic solution under the influence of an applied electric field. So that's the peculiarity of this method. We can directly determine the transport number of an ion simply by following the movement of a boundary. Okay, by following the movement of a boundary that is visible to us between the two electrolyte solution in contact with each other under an applied potential. So let us consider the determination of the transport number of an H plus ion HCl. So let us consider the determination of transport number of H plus ion in HCl. So for that we have to take a solution of hydrochloric acid as one of the electrolytes, and other is an cadmium chloride solution, okay, the second electrolyte. HCl is considered as, there is a primary electrolyte, okay, that is HCl is called, that is moderate directly, that is it is called, okay, there is a principal electrolyte, and cadmium chloride is called an indicator electrolyte. Suppose you want to determine the transport number of H plus ion, you have to take HCl as one of the electrolyte. That is called a principal electrolyte. And it is mixed with the second electrolyte of cadmium chloride, CdCl2, which is called an indicator electrolyte. The peculiarity of the indicator electrolyte is that it should have the anion same as that of the principal electrolyte, so in this case chloride ion. And second thing is that indicator electrolyte should have a cation much lower than that of the H plus ion in the principal indicator. So cadmium ion is generally slower than that of H plus ion. So we have to take two electrolytes, that is HCl and cadmium chloride, in a specially designed vertical glass tube, a long thin glass tube which is supported vertically, okay, which is kept vertically, and into that vertical glass tube with a thin cylindrical glass tube at the middle, whose area cross section and length of the tube is known, and it is filled with the two electrolytic solution. Okay. the HCl solution is slightly lesser in density than cadmium chloride. Okay, HCl is of lower density than cadmium chloride. So on filling the solution, we can see that the HCl has two solutions in contact with each other, in which the HCl solution is at the top and CdCl2 in the bottom, which are in contact with each other, so that there is a boundary. There is a boundary between the hydrochloric acid and HCl like this. A dash is the boundary. Below the boundary, the junction is a boundary, so that is a much denser cadmium chloride solution, and above is the lighter hydrochloric acid floating. So the concentration of HCl and cadmium chloride is so adjusted that there is a well-defined boundary between the two solutions. So that is the thing that we have to adopt here in this experiment. The peculiarity of HCl is such that HCl is lower in the density than cadmium chloride. So on mixing the solution and it is taken in the filled in the vertically cut glass tube, it can be seen that HCl always float over the cadmium chloride solution, and the concentration of the solution is so adjusted that above the boundary there is a HCl solution, below the boundary there is cadmium chloride solution, and the boundary can be well defined, it can be clearly visible. So the concentration is so adjusted that the boundary between HCl and the cadmium chloride should be clearly visible. Then the electrode, there is a platinum cathode that is connected at the as a platinum cathode, it is a platinum foil that is a strip that is connected at the top, and there is a cadmium anode that is connected at the bottom. Okay, the platinum cathode is then connected to a cell, which in turn is connected to a rheostat or resistor, and is serially connected to a coulometer in order to measure the current. This is a coulometer. To measure the current Q passing through the electrolyte. Okay, so this is the situation. The apparatus description. Okay, the experimental setup. The electrolyte solution consisting of HCl and cadmium chloride is taken in the vessel. It is filled with the tube and is kept in the arranged in the vertical position. And a platinum strip is acting as a cathode, and a cadmium anode is acting as the anode. There is a well-defined boundary between HCl and cadmium chloride. The upper layer is HCl. Above the boundary, the HCl solution, and below the boundary, there is cadmium chloride solution. Okay. Then, a current is passed through the solution for an appreciable length of time. Okay. A current is passed through the solution for an appreciable length of time, so that under the influence of the current, the Cl minus move towards the cadmium anode towards the bottom, while the H plus ion move upwards towards the platinum cathode. So that's the situation. So H plus ion move upwards, while Cl minus ion move downwards under the influence of the applied potential or under the influence of the current. Since H plus ion is much faster than chloride ion, you can see that under the influence of the electric current, you can see that the boundary A dash, the initial boundary A dash, is seen to move upwards, and after the passage of the electricity, it reach at the completion of the passage of electricity or completion of the passage current, let the boundary reaches at B dash. So the new position of the boundary after passing electricity is B dash. So that boundary A dash now move towards a distance BB dash upwards due to the migration of H plus ion. That is the situation. So under the influence of the electric field, the H plus ion move upwards and its mobility is much higher than Cl minus. which is Cl minus going downwards, it can be seen that the boundary, the initial boundary of the solution A dash now travel a distance upward. Okay, now travel up. Okay, and it reaches a new boundary of B dash upwards. You find out the distance traveled by the boundary. Let L be the distance traveled. So the distance between A dash and B dash is L centimeter. L centimeter. Okay, that's the situation. Then, and let A be the area A square centimeter. A centimeter square. A square centimeter be the area cross section of the tube. The cylindrical tube is such that it has a uniform length. It has a length, okay, and it has a uniform area cross section. And let L be the distance between the boundary A dash and B dash. I think B dash, I already mentioned B dash is the distance traveled by the boundary from A dash to B dash due to the migration of the H plus ion. So the distance traveled by the H plus ion and the influence of the electric field is L centimeter, and let A square centimeter be the area of the cross section of the tube. Therefore, the volume set by the boundary under the influence of the electric field is, let it be V. So the volume set by the boundary under the influence of electricity, okay, by the current. Volume set by the boundary by the current is, or under the electric field is, that is V, that is equal to L into A centimeter cube. The volume set by the boundary. Okay. That is, then calculation. You have to remember, that is 1 gram equivalent of the quantity of current carried by 1 gram equivalent of each H plus ion is 1 Faraday. That is the quantity of current. You know that this is to the movement of H plus ion upwards. Therefore, the quantity of current carried by 1 gram equivalent of each H plus ion, or 1 H plus ion. Okay, 1 H plus ion is 1 Faraday. It's 1 Faraday. So you have to remember the quantity of current carried by. So the number of gram equivalent you have to remember. The number of gram equivalent that is present in, that is VCC of the solution is, okay, the number of gram equivalent that is present in the VCC of the solution is Vc by 1000. Vc by 1000. You have to remember. Therefore, the quantity of current carried by Vc by 1000 gram equivalent. Vc by 1000 gram equivalent of H plus ion. Okay, H plus ion is that is Vc by 1000 Faraday. That you have to remember. Suppose C is the concentration, normality of the solution. Suppose C is the normality of the hydrochloric acid. Suppose C is the normality of the hydrochloric acid. Then you have to remember, according to your definition, 1 gram equivalent of H plus ion carry 1 Faraday of electricity. Therefore, the number of gram equivalent present in VCC of the solution is, okay, V by 1000 into C, that is VC by 1000 gram equivalent. So this much number of gram equivalent of H plus ion is carried by, you know that 1 gram equivalent of H plus ion carry 1 Faraday. Therefore, Vc by 1000 gram equivalent of H plus ion is carried by Vc by 1000 Faraday of current. So this is a very important calculation. How it arises, you know that suppose C is the concentration or the hydrochloric normality of the hydrochloric acid solution. According to a general postulate is that each 1 gram equivalent of a particular ion is carried by 1 Faraday of electricity. So according to our argument, that is 1 gram equivalent of H plus ion each is carried by 1 Faraday of electricity. Therefore, the number of gram equivalent present in the VCC of the solution of the concentration C is Vc by 1000. Vc by 1000. Vc by 1000. Therefore, the quantity of current carried by this much number of gram equivalent of H plus ion is. So the quantity of current carried by Vc by 1000 gram equivalent of H plus ion is that into this. 1 H plus gram equivalent of hydrogen is carried by 1 Faraday. Therefore, this much gram equivalent of hydrogen is carried by that into this quantity. Then Faraday into this. Then Vc by 1000 Faraday. This is the quantity of current. Okay, this is the quantity of current. That is the quantity of current. Quantity of current carried by the H plus ion in the HCl solution. HCl solution concentration C is Vc by 1000 Faraday. The quantity of current carried by the H plus ion in the HCl solution of concentration C is Vc by 1000 Faraday. Then the total quantity of electricity passed to the electrolyte. The total quantity of electricity passed to the electrolyte that can be measured from the coulometer as Q. Okay. If Q is the Q in coulombs is the total quantity of current pass through the solution for the migration of H plus ion for this particular word. Let it be Q coulomb, that can be measured directly from the coulometer. Measured from the coulometer. That is equal to the total quantity current in Faraday is that is equal to Q by F Faraday. So the total quantity of the current in Faraday carried by passing the solution that can be measured in the coulometer is Q by F Faraday. Therefore, the transport number of H plus ion, that is the fraction of the total current carried by the H plus ion. The fraction of the total is the current carried by H plus ion divided by total current. Okay, this is the current carried by H plus ion divided by total current. That is equal to current carried by the H plus ion in the C molar HCl is Vc by 1000. Vc by 1000, that divided by total quantity current in Faraday is Q by F. That is equal to, okay, that is the situation here. Q by F. Q by F is the quantity of current that is carried, that is Q by Faraday. Then if I, okay, that can be written as, that is equal to Vc into F divided by 1000 Q. Suppose Q, the quantity of current is I into T, ampere into second, I into T, and F is Faraday, coulombs. Then we can write transport number T of H plus ion is Vc, that is volume of the solution, say solution to is normality into 96,500 divided by 1000 by IT. That is our equation. Therefore, TCl minus is this value 1 minus TH plus. So this is the calculation. So by knowing the volume of the solution, okay, that is obtained from the length and area cross section 2, and concentration or normality of the HCl solution, we can calculate, and the current strength I and time, we can calculate the transfer over H plus ion by this equation. The important calculation involved here is that is, you know that you have to find out the length travelled by, the boundary travelled by the HCl solution, that H plus ion, and that is L. And obtained from the length of the boundary, okay, boundary travelled. Then from knowing the area cross section, you can calculate the volume set by the boundary. And as you know that 1 Faraday of electricity carries 1 gram equivalent of H plus ion, the total number of gram equivalent of H plus ion present in C molar or C normal HCl solution is its volume into C divided by 1000, Vc by or Vn by 1000. So that since 1 gram equivalent of H plus carry 1 Faraday of electricity, therefore the quantity of current required to carry by Vc by 1000 gram equivalent, okay, the number of gram equivalent present is Vc by 1000. So the quantity of current carried by Vc by 1000 gram equivalent of H plus ion is, that is Vc by 1000 Faraday. Okay, 1 Faraday carries 1 equivalent H, 1 equivalent of H plus. Therefore, Vc by 1000 of gram equivalent of H plus is carried by how many Faradays? 1 into this number, that is Vc by 1000. Vc by 1000 Faraday. So the quantity of current carried by H plus ion now become Vc, that is number of gram equivalent itself, that is Vc by 1000. Okay. That then the total quantity of the current passing through the solution, that is obtained from the coulometer, let it be Q, that is Q by F Faraday, that is equal to I into T by F Faraday. Therefore, transport number of H plus ion is carried by H plus ion divided by the total current, that is Vc by 1000 by Q by F, that is equal to Vc F by 1000 Q, or that is equal to Vc into 96,500 divided by 1000 by into IT, where IT is the current strength, T is the time of flow, current strength in time of flow. So where C is the normality of the solution. I hope that you have followed my class. It's a very simple experiment. So to study this, so it may be asked for an examination. Any of the two methods can be asked for the examination most probably. So concentrate study much on Hitto's method and moving boundary method. Then the problem based on the equation may also be asked for the examination. So the experimental setup you pass through that is experimental setup or apparatus. Okay. That is the moving boundary experiments with a 0.1 normal HCl solution, 0.1 normal solution, okay, of HCl. The boundary moved from 4.44 centimeter during 70 minutes, in centimeters when a current of I 5.20 milliampere is employed. Milliampere is employed. Suppose the cross-sectional area of the tube is 0.25 centimeter square. There is a problem. You have 0.1 normal HCl solution or electrolyte solution, HCl usually, and that is under the passage of current of 5.2 milliampere for 70 minutes. That is the boundary traveled by a distance. L is directly given 4.4 centimeter. And if the area cross-sectional tube is 0.25 centimeter square, what is the transport number of K plus I? You have a 0.1 normal KCl solution. KCl solution the problem, not H plus N, KCl and convert. Okay. Suppose you have a KCl solution, you have to find out the transport number of TH plus. TK plus. TK plus is equal to volume into C. BC or normality into Q into F divided by 1000 by IT. This equation. That is V here. V here is 4.5. 4.44 into 0.25. 0.25. Okay. That is V. 4.44 into 0.25, that stands for V centimeters. Then C 0.1 normal. 0.1 normal solution, that is 96,500 divided by 1000 by IT. IT is milliampere. Okay. 5.2. 5.2. So milliampere converted to ampere. The milliampere can be connected to ampere by multiplying with 1000. Okay, 10 raised to by dividing by 1000. Okay, 1000 10 raised to minus 3. This is the ampere. So milliampere is converted to 10 raised to minus 3. So as ampere. So 5.20 to 10 raised to minus 3 ampere. So okay, the milliampere is connected to ampere by time 70 minutes, 70 into 60 seconds. Time should be always taken as 60 in a second. So when you multiply, simplifying, you got the 4.449 something. So always transport number is a fractional quantity. So that's it. I hope that you have followed my class. Okay, you go through the problem. You work out the problem as many number you can. So next is we can discuss some aspects here in connection with electrochemistry. The important aspect you are to now going to be discussed is the application of conductometric measurement. There are various applications, and that will be discussed in another class. Okay, in a separate class. Before that, I have to mention about some other aspect in connection with the conductometric measurement, or that is electrolytic conductance. That is the term called activity. Okay, that is called activity. Yes. That is, what is activity? So will have been mentioned because certain cases in examination this may be asked, what is activity, something like that. Okay, activity. In electrolytic conductance and usually in electrochemistry, electrolytic conductance and in Galvanic or EMF, we are dealing with the electrolytic solution. The electrolytic solution, most cases are electrolytes. They are electrolytes, so they are ionic species. When dissolved in the water, when aqueous system, these electrolyte substances are broken into ionized species, and there is an equilibrium between the ionized species in the solution like this: M plus aqua and A minus aqua like this in water. So most of the aqueous solution of the electrolytes in their solution contain charged species, that is positive and negative ion, that is the peculiarity of the electrolyte in their solution. Because of the inter-ionic attraction, ion-ion interaction, okay, because of the ion-ion interaction, that I wish to mention is that in the aqueous solution of the electrolyte, in the solution there is ion-ion interaction due to the electrostatic force of attraction. Okay, that it is easy for you to consider. Understand? Because you know the electrolytes, when dissolved in their aqueous solution, are broken into positive and negative ion, and they exist. Their ions, free ion in the solution, and there is an equilibrium between the unionized part of the electrolyte molecule. Okay. What is important that in the aqueous solution, therefore, they consist of positive and negative ion. There is an ion-ion interaction due to the electrostatic force of attraction. This ion-ion attraction therefore lead to some abnormality or some deviation in the actual stoichiometric concentration of the solution. The ion-ion interaction that arises from the electrostatic force of attraction will produce a minor change in the stoichiometric concentration of any electrolyte in the solution. So what I mentioned to say is that in the case of an electrolyte in the solution, its actual or effective concentration is slightly different from the stoichiometric concentration. Suppose we prepare an electrolyte solution of C moles per liter. That is a stoichiometric concentration. That is called a stoichiometric concentration. That is prepared. This is the prepared concentration. That is a prepared this is the analytical concentration, prepared concentration. That is called usually stoichiometric concentration. Suppose C moles per liter is the stoichiometric concentration of the electrolytes that is prepared. But in the aqueous solution, the effective concentration is not equal to the stoichiometric concentration. It may be slightly different. That effective concentration of an electrolyte in the solution is represented by activity. So the effective concentration is different from the stoichiometric concentration. This aspect you have to follow. Stoichiometric concentration. So you have to get clear this idea. The effective concentration therefore is different from the stoichiometric concentration. There is an effective concentration for the electrolyte which is slightly different than the stoichiometric concentration. That effective concentration is called activity that I want to mention. So what is activity? The activity of an electrolyte is defined as a modified or effective concentration of an electrolyte in their aqueous solution that arises due to the ion-ion interaction. So activity is defined as the effective or modified concentration of electrolyte in their aqueous solution, and is usually represented by a term called A. So it is usually called A. That is the first. You have to understand the definition. The activity of an electrolyte is defined as the effective or modified concentration of the electrolyte in their aqueous solution. This is not equal to the stoichiometric concentration. The stoichiometric concentration is either molarity, molality or mole fraction. 3 constant terms are employed. It is not equal. So activity is not equal to C, but is different from C. That is that. Therefore, the activity is usually defined as the product of an activity coefficient and the stoichiometric concentration of the electrolyte. It is not equal to E, but activity is equal to F or gamma into C. Gamma into C. Where the constant gamma is called activity coefficient and C is the stoichiometric concentration, where C may be molarity, then molarity or mole fraction. So molarity it is represented usually C, molarity by M, mole fraction by X. And gamma is called the constant gamma, it's empirical factor. Gamma is called the constant. The constant gamma is called activity coefficient. That's very important. Activity coefficient. So activity of a solution is effective concentration as term used for representing the effective concentration of an electrolyte in their aqueous solution that arising from the ion-ion interaction. The activity is not equal to concentration, that is different from concentration, that is equal to, activities of an electrolyte is defined as the product of activity coefficient and the concentration, stoichiometric concentration solution. Or it is activity, there is a term multiplied, the concentration is to multiplied by a empirical constant called activity coefficient, that is gamma into C, where gamma is called activity coefficient whose value is usually 1 in the case of an ideal system. The case of an ideal system, remember the value of gamma is 1 in the case of an ideal system or ideal solution, but gamma is a quantity of fraction, usually a fraction close to 1. Okay. So gamma is 1 for an ideal solution. So that for ideal solution, activity is equal to concentration. But in most cases, electrolyte solution are not ideal. So gamma, the